It's another Sunday special here at Ice Time Hockey Southwest. A little different scene today. I'm not at a hockey rink. I'm at somewhere that has something to do with hockey, and I'm enjoying myself here at the Santan Brewing Company. I've got the Director of Marketing with us, Alejandro Fontes. Alejandro, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us. Thanks for hanging out to have a Yotes, a YPA, and talk some hockey, man.
Absolutely. Well, you know, you caught my eye a while back with your inception of the Yotes Pale Ale, right?
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. And I like what you guys are doing to not only promote hockey, but also to give back a little bit to the community as well. So tell me a little bit about the start of it and what got you guys rolling.
So YPA ended up coming across our desk. The chance to partner with our Coyotes came across our desk. The credit goes to our distributor, Crescent Crown, and the president over there, who said, "Hey guys, I've got this opportunity for you." Me being the very local diehard fan, as soon as I saw, hey, chance to partner with the Yotes, I was immediately like, boss, we've got to do this. We've got to find a way to make this work, find the room in the budget, which is obviously the hardest part for a local brewery.
Right.
We're not the big boys of the world. We don't have multi-million-dollar budgets to just go ahead and shell out anything we want, to just buy the rights to anything. So it took some convincing. It took a lot of what I do here is some more sales analytics and some marketing stuff. So I had to find room and where we can make this work, and eventually got the boss on board. The Coyotes were on board, and a lot of that had to do with Yotes Pale Ale, which is what I'm drinking here in front of you guys. They basically came to us and said, hey, we don't just want a sponsor, we want a partner. And a lot of that came into play with, you know, we are local to Arizona. We're still owned by people who live in Arizona. We're 100% Arizona owned and brewed. All of our beers are made within these borders. So came to us and said, hey, instead of just a traditional sponsorship, we'll put your logo up and all that fun stuff, let's have some fun with it. Would you guys brew a beer for us? And this beer, which is a hibiscus pale ale by style. What that means is just a nice pale ale, but we use fresh, or I shouldn't say fresh, we use dried hibiscus flowers, but real hibiscus flowers in this beer, which gives it this kind of brick red color, which is exactly what the Coyotes are looking for.
Right.
A lot of that comes from, obviously, the color scheme for the Coyotes is brick red with the desert sand. So they were looking for something that mimicked their color scheme, something that was brewed here in Arizona. And also, I think the Coyotes were looking for something to reaffirm that they are an Arizona hockey team, and they will be. That was something that, obviously, as a fan first, came across my mind was, great, how long are you guys going to be here? But after a few conversations with the Coyotes, it was pretty clear that, you know, through everything with Glendale that's going on and all that fun stuff, they were going to tough it out, and they were going to find out what it takes to stay in Phoenix. So immediately, once we got all those ducks in a row, we said, let's go for it, man. We haven't looked back since. It's been awesome. The Coyotes
how many years has it been since it actually introduced your partnership with them?
YPA, the partnership itself started right before last season, or actually technically right as the season was starting. It was very last minute. We ended up putting together the team, and we got the ball rolling quick. So much so that the Coyotes were super pumped to get second year rolling ahead of time this year.
Right.
And we did. We did such a great job working together. We've had YPA out in the market since last year. It was only available in draft in half barrel kegs.
Right.
This year, with our partnership, we decided, let's do this right. The Coyotes asked about a possibility of a can, which we've been dreaming of since we even knew we were going to do the beer.
Right.
It was just going back between Yotes Pale Ale, YPA, what we should call it, all this fun stuff. And then Meg Herbert, our graphic designer, and who I consider our director of marketing, came up with this beautiful can. The Coyotes approved it. The NHL offices approved it. And we were able to really create a unique partnership, which you don't really see in sports these days. You can now see a few more people tagging along and starting their own team-specific branding, but it's going to be hard to find a true partnership where it's as Arizona-born as these two are.
So tell me a little bit about what it's been like since you were able to, with your partnership, put it in cans and put it out in stores, and How have the sales been?
Sales have been phenomenal. Obviously, no comparison's able to be made when there's
Right.
nothing to compete it against. But allowing cans and what we call slim kegs or 6 barrels this year has allowed more retail partnerships through different
Right.
bars. Some of your smaller mom and pop bars that really cheer for our Coyotes every night and have at least 2 or more TVs with Fox Sports Arizona on every night. They're able to support now because their keg space is smaller and limited. Fry's has been, and Sprouts, I'd be amiss to mention them. Those two have taken this brand and really helped just get it out there. Fry's being one of the main sponsors for the Coyotes.
Correct.
Fry's has always been a great partner for Santan. They just, as the Arizona grocer, Bashes has done a great job as our actual hometown grocer. All these different avenues. Total Wine was the first one to say, yeah, we'll take it. We want to support you guys. And then what we did in turn was create a Text to Win program that we're now in our 2nd year of.
Okay.
We are giving away our glass seats, which are the best seats in the house.
Right.
I got to sit in them once, and I've gone to football games, basketball games, baseball games. I've gone to everything my whole life, and I've always been a believer that you can pretty much get a good seat anywhere.
Right.
I'm sure the same is true at Gila River.
Right.
But man, sitting on the glass in the corner where most of the action is behind the net is ridiculous. So we immediately said, why don't we give our fans a chance? Let's give our shoppers a chance to sit in these same seats. And it's been a huge success for us. The retailers are really taken to it. The people that have gone to the games and have won the past contests have, sent us thanks and stuff like that. And every once in a while we get to see pictures. So it's been a huge success to not only help bring more awareness that there is a Yotes Pale Ale and that our Coyotes are out there playing some good hockey right now,
Right.
Especially with the late turnaround they've had. But it just gives people a chance to go out to Glendale and experience a game in a seat that they might not have experienced before. It's a totally different experience up there.
How good is that? That's
It's
about as good as it gets, right?
It's insane. The very first game that I got to sit in those seats, Boston was in town.
Oh.
And Zdeno Chara comes skating up, which I've always known the legend of Zdeno Chara. I'm pretty sure that he was one of the trees in the Lord of the Rings movies. He skates up, and I am just dumbfounded by how monstrous this man is standing in front of me on the other side of the glass. And my immediate fear goes to, if I'm skating and this man is chasing me,
Right.
and I was dumbfounded by just how brutal those guys can be, how brutally large those guys can be. But it's definitely an experience that we want to make sure our Santan fans and Fry, Sprouts, Total Wines, Bashes, all those customers get a chance to get. There is a contest running now, so if you happen to be in those stores, make sure you check it out, get that Text to Win code, send it in, and hopefully we can get you guys a chance to sit in those seats.
The Coyotes have had so many struggles in the past, but like you said earlier, the one thing that they want to do is make sure that they know, that people know that this is home. I had a chance to visit with Andrew Barraway's son earlier this year on one of our Hockey Talk segments, and he wanted people to know that, yeah, his dad is from Philadelphia, but he's got a home here, he lives here, he votes here. It's really important to him, and I know as we sit right now on the east side of the valley, that's been the big talk about trying to get the Yotes on this side of the valley.
Yeah.
It's difficult getting to Glendale, but the fact that they keep sticking it out and they keep fighting it, and I got to ask you, growing up as a Yotes fan, what were your thoughts when Rick Tocchet came on board?
I was excited to have him. I was a little torn. Tip, did what he could with what he had, and I don't think he, by all means, was the source of the struggles and the losses that we were piling up. But obviously, with John Chayka really taking a good hold of this team, which I had the absolute pleasure to meet him, and his hockey mind is just insane.
Incredible.
And for a guy that I think is younger than I am, his mind is just constantly focused on how to make the team better. And in that same night, I also got to meet Steve Patterson and his affirmation of the Yotes are here to stay.
Right.
But when talk was announced, obviously having the Rocket back, is huge for Coyotes fans just to reconnect with the team. The guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, come on. If you're going to listen to somebody as a young guy, as a dummy, as any of those younger guys are in there, I think Talk is pretty much the one that you're going to want to listen to. And so it was a great hire by John and the staff to try and reach out and bring him back. Obviously, they struggled early on, but these guys are, with how young this team is, it's like a fresh deer or a baby deer trying to walk, and eventually it's going to get its stride, and those guys are going to start racking up some points here soon.
So as we talk about that, there's probably a lot of guys in that team that can't even come in here and try one of these out.
There's quite a few of them. We've actually had that conversation with our marketing counterparts out there in Glendale, and whenever we ask them, hey, what about these players coming out, we always have to remember there's a lot of guys that just simply can't come drink a beer. They can come hang out. Santan's all ages for the most part. But yeah, you're not going to see a Yotes in their hand for at least another couple years. Hopefully, we won't get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit about Santan Brewery and where we're sitting right now as we pan around the room. We'll take a look. Tell me a little bit about this room.
Welcome to the Brewers Reserve. This building's been open for I think a couple years now. I remember when I first started here, I eventually got to join the catering team, which really helps run this room, and I got to see this building, or this part of the building, be built. Literally where you're sitting right now, and technically where I'm sitting, were 2 rows of tanks that are just like the ones behind me. And then there was another row of those tanks that came across in front of it. So you can imagine there's 4 rows of tanks. These garage doors that are covered right now, where there was only enough room to fit the forklift from that door to the cooler door to grab any pallets you needed to get out. Eventually, once we opened our Warner facility to help our production side, we were able to take a lot of the tank space out of here. And we were wondering what to do with the wide open spaces. And Jamie Hoffman, our pub GM and part owner, decided, hey, let's do a private room.
Right.
And it took off immediately.
I bet it did.
It has been a huge success for us since we opened it. I think Arizona Bride Magazine rated us as one of the best places to have your rehearsal dinner.
Right.
Which you can imagine, a beautiful setting like this satisfies the bride with something that is elegant and classy, but there's beer tanks that are actively making beer right behind us, which satisfies the groom side a little bit, to stereotype a little. But it's been a great party room. I've had friends throw their birthday parties in here. We've got a big 52-inch screen up there for watching Yotes games or any other games that you want to watch.
Right.
So you can, have a little bit of fun and also keep it still kind of nice. And we're actually doing a private screening with some Fry's customers here next week, where we're gonna watch an away game and have a private dinner and
how nice is that?
And, I think the Coyotes are gonna come down and hang out. And that was a little private contest we did, not private, but a contest we did with our Fry's customers.
Very nice.
Which will be a lot of fun, and hopefully we're gonna do some more viewing parties here too. But yeah, this Brewers Reserve is absolutely insane. It can fit up close to 100 people. Caitlin, who's our catering director, does a great job with her and her staff running this room. You can actually see they're setting up for a party tonight. Right. One of 2 parties tonight.
I was told we have just a very limited time here, don't we?
Yeah, we're a little on a little bit of a time crunch, but we're okay to hang out. This room is just so awesome to have a little bit of fun in.
So as I walk through the doors, and it's roughly noon on a Friday, this place is packed. Is this the way it is all the time?
For the most part. You can imagine noon on a Friday. There's probably a lot of people that just want to get out and have a pint, and they sent their emails in and checked out for the weekend. And this place will get busier as the day goes on. Throughout the week, we stay pretty busy. The place stays pretty packed. It's also Arizona in winter, where it's 70 degrees right now. Yeah. So all our Canadian friends are here in town, which welcome to everybody that's in town from Canada and watching this. They're amazing people. I remember they were some of my favorite people to serve when I was a server in the pub. You've got the Snowbirds from Minnesota hanging out down here. Everybody's just hanging out on the patio for the most part for the next couple months or so while they sit out the cold winters.
So 2 questions to wrap things up for you. First of all, how many people have tried to do what you're doing in other communities? Are you familiar with other breweries that are trying to hook up with other hockey teams specifically?
Hockey teams specifically, I think the only one I'm aware of is Gordon Biersch did a beer with San Jose.
Yep.
And I think they did it a couple years just before we signed on with the Coyotes.
Okay.
So it was kind of, we knew it was there.
Yep.
We didn't really focus on it too much. We did say that we wanted to make sure our beer was a little bit different, that it stayed true. I think the name of their beer has chum in it, if I remember right, which makes sense for the Sharks, but hopefully, like on the ice, we'll beat them with our beers too. I have seen some announcements of baseball teams are now starting to partner. The real hard part with a lot of these partnerships, though, are the massive sponsorships.
Right.
Bud Light owns the NFL, and Coors Light has the NHL, and Budweiser owns the MLB. So there's a lot of hurdles you have to jump through. So smaller breweries like us are trying to figure out how to do it respectfully, and not ruffle the feathers of contractual obligations that the leagues have to their big partners. But you'll notice that a lot of the leagues, and credit goes to Bettman and the NHL and all those guys, that they are allowing us small partners to do this on a local level.
Right.
You're not going to see Yotes invading Vegas by any means. You're not going to see it leaking out into LA or anything like that. They want to protect their territories, especially with the contracts with the big guys, but they aren't giving us a lot of grief over this. This wasn't a huge fight. We didn't have to go tooth and nail to make sure that this beer was possible.
Right.
It was relatively smooth from the process from conception to out on your shelf.
Right.
Which was a huge success, and it was a huge surprise, to be honest, because you expect there to be a lot of red tape and a lot of, come on, man, you can't do that. And with this beer, Yotes specifically, I do know the Coyotes are chipping in a portion of it to the Coyotes charities.
Exactly.
Which I think when the NHL hears that, I think when the community hears that, it really resonates as this isn't just a money grab. It's not just, grab the bag of cash as fast as we can and get out. This will have an impact on the community with the charities getting a portion of the proceeds. And it's also just awareness. We don't want to just remind people that Santan's here. We want to remind people that the Yotes are still here.
Right.
And they're going to be here for a while. And we hope we can be on board with them for as long as we can, whether they're playing in Glendale or, heck, we'll build them a new arena here in Chandler, right behind the brewery.
Right. So my final question for you is, now that the Yotes are here and stable with the YPA, you have a new team that's Yotes affiliated down in Tucson. Any chance we're going to have a Roadrunners brew chasing them?
The Roadrunners. I remember the Roadrunners when they were here.
Right.
I loved the Roadrunners when I was in Phoenix because it was, as a kid, I grew up with Looney Tunes and all that, so it was the closest connection to sports. I had the Coyotes and the Roadrunners, and we don't have an official beer in the works with them just yet. It is hard because they are part of a different league, which means different negotiations. But Tucson takes such great care of Santan. They love Arizona beers down there. They do love their hoppier beers.
Right.
So hopefully we can get something working with Tucson in the future. Make sure that TCC has plenty of Santan beers that not only supports our big leagues, but also the boys that are literally a one phone call away from coming to play in Glendale.
And I know that you've seen, growing up here in Arizona, you've seen the growth of hockey, which is really what we're after. When I founded Ice Time Hockey Southwest, it was to bring awareness to all of hockey, right? I wanted to let people know that there's youth hockey being played here, there's high school hockey being played here, and really that the Desert Southwest is growing, right? So as YPA grows and grows on you and grows on us, so does hockey in the Valley.
Which is all we can ask for. Kids to pick up their skates. We can beat this horse a million times with the Austin Matthews story and some of the other guys that are coming up. That youth hockey is alive and well here in the Valley. Whether you're starting on rollerblades on a playing street hockey with your boys, or actually in a rink getting training to go play, with the Penn States in the world, and
right.
Now the Sun Devils, who credit the Coach Powers and the guys for winning the Ice Vegas tournament, which is huge. People don't understand from outside Arizona why hockey belongs here. That's fine. It's not for you to understand.
Right.
We do know it works here. We know it exists. And between the youth leagues, the Devils coming up now in Division One and taking over the reins that the Ice Cats used to have. Hopefully stepping up and making a fight for a Frozen Four within the next few years with Coach Powers. Anything's possible. And then with the youth revolution we got in Glendale, man, it's an exciting time to be a hockey fan in Phoenix. Just with good things, need a little patience.
Absolutely. Alejandro, tell us a little bit about the brewery, the hours, the location for people that don't know, how they can get in here, when they can get in here, and some of the special features, and we'll wrap it up with that.
So first, we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but we just announced that we're opening our second location in Phoenix on 16th Street in Bethany. We're going to call it Bethany Station. We took over the old Z Tejas building that's right there in the corner. We get to hang out with in the same area with like the VIG, another Arizona-owned company. We are so excited to be there. I know personally, I've seen Anthony scout location after location after location for years. And I've always been asked, when are we going to open the next location? I've always had to say, we just don't know yet. It's here. We're doing it. 16th Street in Bethany. We're not sure exactly on the date. As with any construction project, it's going to take some time.
Right.
Expect March or April, possibly. And if it comes out sooner, we'll let you guys know on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Those are our 3 channels. Follow us. But if you need some fresh YPA and you want to come down to the source right here in downtown Chandler, 8 South San Marcos Place. Our hours are 11 a.m. during the week. I forgot that. Breakfast is 8 a.m. on Saturday, Sunday, and Friday. And we're open till about 1 every night. So you can come down, have a pint. You can get fresh YPA here. I think they're brewing a little bit more because we've been drinking a whole lot of it here in Chandler. But please come join us. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Arizona Beer Week's coming up in February. Keep an eye out for all that kind of stuff, and let's just share some Arizona-owned pints.
Awesome. I appreciate your time today. Let's do a cheers to hockey in the Desert Southwest.
I'll give that a how.